me, words, images, metaphors are paramount importance. And what I want to share with you, it's a question from one of my students. I'm a passionate person, and when I talk about sustainability, I talk about it with passion. So one of my students asked me, well, is sustainability the new religion? So I was a bit freaked out because the last thing I would like to be seen as is a guru. But at the same time, my heart gave me a new metaphor, because I think that it was reflecting the media in America. They often say, oh, we know those ecologists, and ecology is the new religion, or sustainability is the new religion. And suddenly it came through my heart that, no, sustainability is just like falling in love. And it's falling in love with life again. And in French, sustainability is translated by développement durable. So it's the 4 C's of the 2 D's. So the first one is curiosity. And it's linked with what we've seen before, because we must have the curiosity to know those links between the livings, all those interconnections that tie all the things together. And since I told you that I was interested a lot in complex systems, it's to make the links between the economy, the ecology, and the environment. And to learn to know more about if we say that we want to integrate the great cycles of nature, well, we have first to understand that.
My name's Hannah Miller. I didn't get a chance to present at this hui, but it was really nice to just listen and absorb everybody else's presentations and angles and various ideas. And at one point, Haumana said that he hoped for us to go home and all do one small thing. And I think that that's not as uncanny as it might sound. It's really easy to do a very small thing. In fact, it's doing things that are really simple, just like feeding ourselves, are becoming more and more obscure. And I hope that I think it's a real challenge to try to actually feed yourself. And I'd like everybody to go home and take notice of the ground that we step on every day, the dirt or the soil, to realize that it's alive and full of a whole living ecosystem, and to take notice of that and learn from it and look after it.
And the second C is creativity. When we fall in love with somebody, we want to do things together. So, we want to create. So, sustainability, I often tell my students, it's a matter of design. Not only design of products, but also design of process, design of our organizations, design of our cities, design of, in architecture of our house is really a matter of design. And there's a, architect in the States, Bill McDonough, who often starts his speeches by saying, design is the first manifestation of human intention. So if we are well-intentioned towards the people or the person we love, then we will take care of it.
I'm doing a PhD. My PhD is based on the notion of kindness. And it's all about how to use kindness as an activist tool. I work with my neighbours, so I live in a particular area of Wellington, which is a nondescript area, and using kindness as an activist tool to kind of transform slowly using micro gestures. And the process involves 4 steps, and the first step is the listening process. So I'm doing the opposite to what I normally do. I normally do what you do, which is to listen. So I've interviewed maybe 50 or 60 people in the area, and from that has not just become an oral archive, but from that listening there's a whole acknowledgement process. So the elderly whom I've interviewed first go through an acknowledgement process, like, oh, I've got really nothing to say, but they talk to me for 2 hours non-stop. And then it's also a generation of ideas. People have really good ideas about the community, about how to deal with the issues within our community.
Cooperation, of course, when we are in love with somebody, we want to work together to have common, dreams, common projects. So cooperation, is realizing those common outcomes. And finally, it takes also, and this is a very big one, courage. Because we are not trained in the schools, at least in our school system, to be curious, because there is already a plan that the teacher has to follow. We are not that much trained to be creative either, because very often, once again, we need to follow the plan. And we are not trained for cooperation because our school systems put us in competition.
Well, I mean, I've been inspired by going to a conference where you can be in bed while you're at the conference. That's been really good. So that's been inspiring for me.
Yes, but we're staying on for the SCANZ residency, and our idea is to get to know the landscape around here, do a few climbs, do a few walks, also look at it on Google Maps and see how we can play around with aerial photography of this area or some part of New Zealand.
Because we've been looking at areas of the landscape that are under pressure in some way, have some problems with them, and taking imagery from them and turning them, like imagining what would the landscape want to be saying back to us, and then turning that into words and putting them into the landscape so they kind of look like some kind of natural formation, but if you're flying over the landscape you could see these words embedded in the landscape.
So since I have French roots, I can dare to talk about the G spot of sustainability. And my students are very attentive when I talk about that. So I say, what is the G spot of sustainability? I could have called it the sweet spot, but the letter was not fitting. So this is the G spot, as far as I'm concerned, of sustainability. It's generosity. Not generosity from our pocket, but generosity from our heart, generosity of ourselves. It takes time to arrive to a certain, so we need to say, especially because the students, when they go out, they are anxious to do things, and they are a bit, I don't know if I can say it publicly, pissed off by the people who are not ready to jump on the wagon of sustainability. So I say, we must have empathy and compassion because, it's part of what sustainability is all about. So thank you, and sorry for